Hello. Happy, oh my God, what day is it? It's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. So excited to be here with you all, having this awesome activation and sharing this beautiful information with you today. So welcome, everybody. Welcome whether you're here live with me now, or welcome if you are coming to me through time and space and catching this as the replay. Either way, whatever way you are receiving this activation and information today will absolutely 100% affect you just as powerfully. So I'm very excited for that. So for those of you who are here live, thank you. I see you. I love you. I appreciate you for being here. Go ahead and use that chat box. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're alive. Let me know that you're ready. Let me know that you're excited for this, right? As you can see behind me, I've got my instrumental friends. I've got my wand. I've got my crystal friends here, the ones that specifically requested to assist and join in this activation today. So this is going to be good. So before we get into it, hello, I got Trish over here, Michelle, hi. Everybody's sneaking in from work. I love it. You guys that are at work, stay as long as you can. If you have to bail, you'll totally get the replay so that you can fully do the activation later. Those of you who do get to stay for the whole thing, you will also receive access to the replay. And I definitely suggest listening to it again, listening to the portion where we talk and I teach, and the activation portion. Because the more you go into it and the deeper you do it, the further it locks in. That's the beauty of this energy work. Hi, Jess. Rachel, feeling alive and happy to be here. That's what I want to hear. Candace is here. Yeah. You're rocking the RV life. I love it, Jess. And I know how that goes too, right? How is that old RV? So yes, I'm very excited to be hanging out with you guys today. I'm very excited for those of you that are joining me on the replay. This is awesomely kind of newly, it's a deeper layer. I don't want to say it's brand new information. What this is that I'm sharing with you today is a deeper layer of understanding to so much of what I've been teaching over the last few years, and so much of what has been so crazily expansive and influential in my own journey. And so what I ask you all today, whether you're here live or you're here or you're catching this as the replay, I ask you to come into this with an open mind. And I'm going to ask your permission very quickly to be fully me and all of the weirdness, right? Is it okay that sometimes I talk a little bit fast when I get excited? Sometimes I drop some F-bombs because I'm really passionate about this and I get really excited. And so what I ask each of you, sometimes I talk about aliens too, those of you who know me. So for many of you, this is not your first activation and training with me, so you guys are used to me. Some of you are newer to me in the way that I teach and the way that I do things. And sometimes our conversations can go anywhere from Jesus to aliens, to the earth, to paganism, to religion. Nothing is against the rules to talk about here. And I just ask that you approach it all with an open mind. Take what feels good for you. Anytime you're in a training or an activation with me, what I ask of you is to take what feels good for you, right? I'm not here to force you to believe anything that doesn't feel good for you. I'm here to get you to tap into your gut, activate your gut brain and your heart brain so that you can determine what things in the world feel good for you. So give me a yes in the comments if that is all okay with you. If you are happy, ready, and accepting of all of that, and you're ready to go and you're okay with me being me, and you're ready to just have some fun, learn some new things, get expanded, and get activated on a whole new level. Yes, right? All good, Candace? Thank you. And so the other piece of what I just want to share with you all today is that there's nothing for sale today, right? This isn't a webinar where I'm going to take you through a bunch of stuff and then hard pitch you at the end. So credit cards can go away. All I'm asking for you to do today is be open to receive. Receive the activation, receive the energy work, receive the knowledge. First, we're going to start out by having a discussion to take your mind along for the ride so that your brain can say, oh, okay, I like what she's saying, right? That gives your mental body a chance to come along for the ride with us. And then we're going to move into a beautiful energetic process and activation. I will have you guys close down your eyes, sit back, and just receive. And that's it, right? at the end, I will offer you guys a link that you can book in a chat with me if you are really feeling everything we're doing and you would like to know how to work more deeply with me and you want to apply and find out if any of my programs or my coaching are right for you. I will offer you guys a link at the end. That's the extent of it. Nothing's for sale. That's just so we can have a chat to feel out if I can further assist you at this time and if it would be a good fit for us to work more deeply together. But otherwise, this is purely about activating and helping humanity evolve into an advanced level of consciousness, into a new reality, right? Because that's what I'm here to do as a soul purpose freedom coach, as a quantum soul evolution coach and healer. What I'm here to do is assist humanity to evolve, right? The people who are evolving just behind me, I'm here to turn around and help them navigate the paths that I have been navigating through, sometimes on my own and sometimes with coaches, which has been a crazy ride. So I'm here to help you on your ride. Turn on the light so you can see where you're going, because that's the beauty of the world that we're evolving into, right? The world that we are evolving into is a world of higher dimensional frequencies, higher vibrational energy, 4D, 5D, right? Where we're beginning to understand and realize that just because we were, and this is a lot of what we're going to be talking about today, that just because you were a certain way yesterday doesn't mean you have to keep recreating yourself according to the same rules today. And we're going to talk about how the chakras play into all of that. So give me a yes in the comments if that all sounds good to you, if you are cool with that, if you are ready, open, and willing to receive. Give me an I receive, actually. Give me an I'm ready to receive over in the comments. And the other thing I suggest before we get into the juice of it, into the meat of it, is to grab yourself a glass of water, grab yourself a cup of tea, grab yourself a notebook, take notes. You can screenshot the slides if you'd like. I will send you out in the email that I will send to you all. Yeah, Rach, ready to receive. Yes, 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 right? I will send you a copy of a couple of the slides that have the control codes on them, just so you guys can refer back to them, because I want you, sometimes I know, like me, I like to have tangible things to refer back to after trainings, because it helps trigger what was talked about when I have something to look at. I'm quite visual. And so also tell me over in the comments, I'm just curious, for those of you that are here live, tell me over in the comments, what kind of learner you feel like you are. Like if you feel like you're kind of visual, you like to see things, do you like to hear things? Do you like to do things and that helps you learn? Let me know if you know that about yourself, because it helps me to gauge how I teach. Because the thing about my trainings and activations are, they're not, I make some slides, yes, for you all so that you have a visual to kind of use while we go through the lecture part, but it's not all planned out, right? This is a co-creation between me and my guides and my soul and the universe and my galactic team. And something that I'm going to be activating in you guys in your upper chakras today, the 12D divine chakra codes, have a lot to do with opening yourself up as a channel, opening yourself up so you can better hear your soul and your galactic team. Yeah, Candace, you're visual? Good to know. Because also give me a yes over in the comments if you would love to have a better understanding of your gifts as a channel, right? If you would love to have a better conscious awareness of how you are a channel and the ways you can channel, and a clear understanding of when you're even channeling. Because funny story, and then we're going to move into the slides. Funny story, when I was teaching a couple of years ago, and those of you that have been with me for a while, you'll remember this, right? Trisha, you've been around me for years now. You were here in the very beginning with me. Ashley, you've been around me for years now. In the very beginning, when I would be teaching, I would sometimes be channeling, only I didn't understand that I was a channel yet. And I'm always like a really big reader. And so I'd be teaching the chakra courses I was doing, and I'd be sharing all the stuff that I had been reading. I was teaching out of different books and whatnot, different places that I got information from, and then also my own life experience. And everything that I was learning would come together in the most beautiful, brilliant ways, right? And I would sometimes say things and I'd be like, oh my God, like that was like the most cool thing ever. Like I would be teaching and I would literally connect the dots while I was teaching, and I didn't understand it was because I was downloading, right? I didn't understand it was because I was channeling. I just thought, oh yeah, cool, I'm really wise. Like, look at the way I'm connecting all these dots. And I didn't understand that that was me plugging in and channeling in and being guided and receiving downloads from the collective and from my guides, because that was the information that needed to flow through me at that time. And as I opened up more and more and more, I was like, oh, I get it. So it was never me all along. So it was really cool. And it's really fun and exciting when, yeah, exactly, Ash, I hope I'm doing this right. It's really fun and exciting the more you understand yourself as a channel, because it shows you just how supported you actually are. Because when you start stepping into your gifts and your soul purpose, no matter where you are on the path, right? Some of you are already doing your thing and you're looking to grow what you're doing. Some of you are still kind of working in the 3D world, because we all know, right? You got to make money, you got to pay your bills, but you're in your job and you're like, okay, I totally get that this is not for me, and I'm ready to find out what is for me. Maybe you have some ideas. Oh, I want to coach, or I want to teach, or I want to create, or I want to write, but you don't quite know how to put all your magic together in a way that is something you can tangibly give the world as a contribution, right? As your service. But I know one thing is that almost every single person who ends up on my training, highly sensitive, usually empathic, right? Vibrationally sensitive, emotionally sensitive, creative. You are freedom driven. You want to live a life of purpose. You question everything, right? And you've never been willing to accept that, oh, this is the way you have to live your life. Go over there and live it. Every time you've tried to live your life in the box, you found yourself to be frustrated, unhappy, right? Irritated. Like, this can't be it. So, oh, yes. Okay. Michelle, thank you. If you hit the drop down next to the to field in the text box, you can switch it to all panelists in the oh, right. Are some of you on all panelists? Yep. Yeah, so you guys make sure that little blue thing in your text box and the chat box says all panelists and attendees. And then you guys will all be able to see each other's comments if you can't see them all right now. Thank you for that, Michelle. Yeah, I've been noticing that it's been doing that for me lately. It's been defaulting people to just panelists. So I even have to keep changing mine. I'm going to have to play around in my master settings and see if it's something there. So I can see all you guys. And let me just, that's me. You guys can all see my comments, right? So everybody make sure your blue box says all panelists and attendees, because then you guys can connect with each other too, because that's the fun of being on these trainings live, is that you get to connect and relate with one another. And you guys get to see that we're all fucking similar, because here's the other thing I know about people who like my activations and my teaching is that we tend to buy into these stories that we think nobody understands us, right? Because we've been surrounding ourselves with people, mundane people, who are happy to live in, just 3D reality and stay in the system. And they've told us, why can't you just settle down? Why can't you just stop questioning? Why can't you just stop rebelling? Why can't you just settle down and get a job, or settle down and get a relationship, settle down and buy a house, right? Does anybody else, has anyone else heard that from their family over the years? Because that was one of the biggest things for me. And today, as we talk about the chakras, I'm going to give you guys an understanding of why, right? Because each and every one of you, if you are called to beating your own drum and walking your own path, you are here to do amazing things, right? You have a purpose. Call it what you want, starseed, empath, there's all these like words flying around. Doesn't matter what you identify as. The bottom line is that you are here on a mission. You are here to create change. You are here to contribute and serve the world through your own beautiful gifts, because that's how we're going to change the world, right? When everybody is plugged in and living in their truth, guess what happens? We accept others in their truth. When we're happy and connected to our own divinity and our 12D reality and potential, we accept everyone else in the world and allow them to live in their own truth, right? And all of that control and trying to dominate goes away. But we have to actively address these things, right? We have to talk about the things that make us uncomfortable. We have to call out the control codes. We have to acknowledge that we have them, right? Because one of the most toxic things I see happening in evolution, personal growth, and spiritual circles is the bypass, right? This idea that's because someone is a teacher or a guru, they've done all their work and they have no more work to do. And when someone tries to bring something to them, they tell them, oh, you must be projecting. That's not mine, it's yours, right? None of our work is ever done. You guys saw my post yesterday. I was triggered by something. The difference, right? The triggers don't go away. What changes is me and my ability to lean right into them instead of running away from them, right? The triggers don't go away. The difference is that when the triggers happen, you stand there and you're like, oh, cool, here's a glass of water. Like, can you imagine when something triggers you being the same thing as, oh, here's a glass of water? Yeah, Ash, gaslighting as well, for sure, right? So, I mean, give me a yes if any of you have seen that, because I know everybody that's here, again, everybody's kind of in different places. Some of you are coaches already, right? Some of you have been around personal growth. Some of you are in artist communities, right? Some of you are in other spiritual traditions or communities. And there's a reason why we see all the abuses and the toxicity that we see going on, right? It starts from the top and just repeats its way down. So those of us that see this, those of us that this stands out to, we're here to call it out and be the leaders and say, hey, look, it's okay to acknowledge that I was triggered. I can say that, right? Because I'm not here to put on a persona and act like I never get triggered. That's the way we heal, right? When we can comfortably stand there and say, oh my God, I feel whatever it is, angry, depressed, rageful, whatever the feeling is, and not be afraid to admit that we have lower vibrational emotions, right? We can feel our emotions, release them, and walk through them without living in them. And that's what we're going to talk about today too, as we get into our chakras. So let me bring up my slides for you all. I would love to know, while I'm getting these slides ready, what has jumped out at you so far? What have you identified with so far that I have shared or said? Present. Beautiful. Whoops. So the first thing I really want to bring your attention to is, I'm sorry, let me just, oh, there's my comments. Okay. I just want to bring up the chat too. Yeah, exactly, Ash. Calling ourselves out on our shit, right? And there's fun in that, because when we can mutually call ourselves out on our shit amongst our communities of support, there is such beauty in that, because it allows all of us to be human, to be flawed, to have our quirks, right? And to just be real and let go of that toxic perfectionist control code that, oh yes, we are going to be talking about today. So first and foremost, what I want you all to understand, right, and really get with, is that success in anything, any area of your life, if you want to create change or create success, it is 80% your energy, your mindset, your vibe, and your psychology, right? All of those things kind of contribute to the vibration and the frequency you're operating at. It's only 20% strategy. Now, strategy is all of the how. Strategy is the actions, right? So for example, if you are a coach or you have an online business, strategy is like the marketing. It's learning how to copyright, or it's learning how to create funnels, right? That is one tiny sliver of the pie. The bigger picture is your energy behind it. And what is happening in the evolution of the world now, what used to work, right? When we were strictly living in 3D reality and we hadn't collectively evolved to 4 and 5D yet, scarcity marketing worked, right? That's why you see all of the people succeeding in online things without having any clue about energy or mindset or vibe. They did it purely on strategy, because when we were all still living in the 3D illusion that 3D was it and that's all there was, scarcity marketing worked, right? Scarcity tactics worked. Pure strategy worked. That's why you used to be able to go out and just learn the how and get the results. Give me a yes in the comments if you have noticed that that is no longer working. If you are not in alignment energetically, emotionally, mentally with your vibration and frequency, you cannot force success. You will not get the results in any area. Now that can go for your health, can go for your wellness, it could go for business, it could go for money, it could go relationships, right? It could go for your love life. Yeah. Oh, Crystal, I didn't see you sneak in. Yay, I'm good to see you here, right? Yeah, Jess, exactly. Just saying this with a friend. Last month, huge energy. This month, where the heaven's in hiding. So this is happening. It's accelerating as well, right? We're in Scorpio season right now. That means that everything that is hidden is going to get pushed and dragged out. And we have a choice what to do when that happens. Just because something is coming up that is hidden doesn't mean we can't succeed, right? It doesn't mean we're negative or vibing at a lower frequency. It just simply means, hey, here's the thing. Look at it. What do you want to do with it? You now get to choose to release it, or you get to keep it active. After today's activation, this is all going to start to make so much more sense to each of you if this is kind of a newer concept to you. And basically, to sum up my journey, I spent like 18 months immersing myself in how for business, right? I'm gonna relate to this for business in a second. I spent all this time, money, and energy learning how to market, learning how to run funnels, learning how to do sales, right? All these branding. I have so much knowledge around running a business when it comes to branding, marketing, and sales. However, guess what? It didn't get me to where I wanted to be, where I thought I could be in my business, right? And about a year ago, I was standing in a place like, I don't understand. I've spent all of this time, energy, and money learning all of this how, and it's not working. And that is when a teacher appeared in my life who brought me to a whole new level of understanding of the energy piece, the mindset piece, and the vibration piece. And it wasn't until I really got in there and realized that underneath my positive thinking, I was still vibing at the frequency of scarcity. Because even though I was really good at telling myself, it's all going to work out, I've got this, I'm learning, I'm doing it, underneath that, there was part of me that was locked into this fear of scarcity. I was in scarcity. I was worrying about money. I was trying to control the outcomes. So yes. You guys are all resonating with this. Thank you. Resonates heavily. I think I'm stuck in scarcity. Everything you're saying is true. Yes. I love it. Scorpios bring up what we need to cut out. Exactly. Cut out, release. And that's exactly what we're doing today. This whole entire teaching and activation came through this week. And it was like, nope. I need to do this now. Got everything set up, launched the training, right? Because this needed to come through now, right now, as we move into Scorpio season, because what I'm going to share with you today is the energetic core of that programming, of those codes, right? So give me a heck yes if you would like to understand where your control codes are sitting, the control programming, identify, dissolve, and activate some new codes and frequencies in your field. And I just want to say, right, in the art of keeping it real, this is not a one-time fix. Like, this isn't a wave my magic wand, poof, you're fixed, and now you're not going to vibe in scarcity anymore. This is simply the beginning of the work, right? This is the foundation of the work. Activating the new energetic codes, right? There are coaches out there who will try to tell you that their one-time thing or their 3-step process is going to just poof, fix everything. I'm not going to do that. I want you to succeed, right? I know what each and every one of your potential is. And I want you to understand that, yes, there's still work involved, right? Just because we're doing it energetically doesn't mean we don't have to take any action. This isn't about, let's go over here and just meditate our way to success and results. This is about do the energetic work, start learning how to take the aligned action instead of, let me do this and do this, do. Right? Give me a yes if you know you have the overdoing codes active in your field, or the control freak codes, right? And you know that you're totally buying in to the false template that says, I have to do more. If I work harder, I'll get the results. This is false. Again, there is actions you will have to take, right? But this is just the beginning. Like, that's why this is just a piece of my full Wild Soul Freedom Shift program, which some of you are already doing with me, right? This is a piece of it. But I would be doing you a disservice if I did not openly give you the information that this is just the beginning. What we do here today will absolutely create change. I'm also going to set you up with some tasks that you can do as the days go on to further lock in what we're activating today. But then what's going to happen, that's when the work begins, right? Because it's in those moments each and every day where you are going to realize you'll be sitting there doing whatever you're doing, and something will come up, and now you'll realize you have a new perspective. You'll realize, oh, that was totally a scarcity thought. What do I want to do with that? And you'll see that you have a whole new channel to turn to, right? But just because we've activated the new channel doesn't mean you're not going to be where you can automatically tune to it just yet. You have to practice tuning to your new channel that before it becomes automatic, right? So in the weeks after this, it's going to be crucial that you all continue to practice to lock it in, right? So give me a yes if that all makes sense to you. Yes, the scarcity is big for you, Candace. So true. Edie, heck yes. I miss this. I have no idea how much I need it. That makes me so happy, Ash. Bart, we started about 30 minutes ago. We started at 11. We haven't gotten into the activation yet. We're just talking. Yes. So yes, yes, yes. You guys are ready. I love it. And the other piece I want to share with you, right? These are the 5 phases of the full Wild Soul evolution. This is one part of the journey. So where each and every one of you are at now is going to be a little bit different, right? Some of you have moved into alignment, expansion, and balance, but maybe you haven't yet locked in the energetic piece yet. So you're still kind of getting pulled back into some of those old illusions, right? So to really lock in and move to the next level, wherever you are at on this evolution scale is fine. I generally know that people that end up on my trainings are at least are in awakening or awareness, right? Because people who haven't kind of woken up to this higher energetic realm and the idea of other dimensions and the idea of alternate realities and that you have a soul, that's part of the awakening, right? So give me a yes if you guys know, if you can. Yeah, Crystal, you keep falling back into old, and that's exactly the point, right? That's why we're doing this today, because if you only have one piece of the puzzle, right, there's 4 pieces of the puzzle: physical, mental, emotional, and soul, spirit, energetic. When you lock in shifts on all 4 levels, that's when it becomes your new reality. Now, where other people are getting it, I don't want to say they're getting it wrong, because they're doing what they know and they're doing what has worked for them. They just don't yet understand, right? This is why I see a lot of people just doing mindset and not seeing the results. Or I see people, maybe they want to go and change their body, lose weight, or get bigger, or bulk up. And so they go to the gym and they're working out and they're addressing things in the body level, but they're not doing anything about their mindset or their emotions or their energy, and they don't see results, right? So when you start working on all 4 levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, energetic, that's when quantum shift, you move up, your new identity becomes your new reality, and that's when you calibrate to that new identity, and then your physical world starts responding, and the things start to show up and flow in and manifest faster, right? So give me a yes if that resonates with you, if you can relate to maybe trying to work with your mindset, or maybe trying to just work with your emotions, maybe just taking the spiritual approach, or maybe just taking the physical approach and wondering why the fuck you're not getting results, right? So when you start to lock in what we're doing today is one piece, right? It's going to be a little bit of the mindset and a lot of the energetic and spiritual. I don't have time in a 1.5 hour training to get fully into the emotional alchemy and all of that. But the energetic codes I'm activating in you today will set you up to begin opening up to the processes of emotional alchemy, being able to transmute emotions and triggers on the spot, right? But that's where some of the deeper healing work comes in, right? And that's what I do when I get the honor and privilege of working with you for longer periods of time, like in the full Wild Soul Freedom Shift. We have a whole 2 weeks where we're working with emotional alchemy and transmuting and doing the deeper healing, right? But because it has to filter across all levels. But if you only do one, it's like you have this core programming that keeps pulling you back into those old behaviors. So yeah, take a look at this and let me know where you guys feel like you are, right? Jess, you feel like you're in action phase, approaching action phase. I love that. And I totally feel that from you, Jess, too, because I'm so close to you and I totally know where you're at. I can read you very easily. Yes, Ash, totally possible to be further along on the spectrum, but fall back. That happens all the time, right? Because here's the thing. It's like the spiral staircase, and we go up and we go up and we go up, but there's always another, right? You're going to be repeating these 5 phases. It's not a one-time linear, oh, look, finish and end, right? It's the spiral. So you go through, all right, you wake up. Let's just use abundance, for example. We wake up to the idea, okay, hey, you know what? I start to question why other people seem to be able to call in abundance. And maybe there's something to this. Maybe I can have a life of abundance and freedom. Okay, so there's my awakening, right? My mundane life doesn't make sense anymore. I'm feeling this pull, pulling me this way. All of a sudden I move into awareness and I realize it's not the world that needs to change. It's me that needs to change. Oh, and I start really, this comfort zone that I've been living in for 30 some odd years just isn't comfortable anymore. Now I start seeing patterns. I start knowing, I start understanding. Maybe teachers start showing up. So I know a lot, I see a lot, but I haven't started applying what I know and see. Then I move into action. Cool, so I make a decision, I act. Oh, here comes a teacher, comes a coach. I like them, I like her energy. Oof, I'm a little bit scared because I've never invested this much money in myself, and she wants 6 months of my time. A little bit scary, but you know what? I'm gonna buck up, put on my parachute and jump because I'm there. Now I move into alignment, expansion, and balance. It's like poof, boom, right? Expansion, I see the bigger picture. I get it, I can see it. Money starts flowing in. I realize I'm unfuckwithable. I'm consciously co-creating. Then I move into true freedom, right? Life on my terms. All these other things start happening. However, guess what then happens? And actually this can happen at any stage along the journey. Like you could be in the action stage working on your abundance when all of a sudden you have an awakening about your relationship with your body or your health or your relationship coding, right? Or you have an awakening about your emotional dysfunction or your emotional codes, right? And that's the beauty of it. So sometimes we awaken on a whole bunch of things altogether. Other times, like for me, my awakening first came when I got sober off drugs and alcohol. Had a huge awakening, moved through the phases very quickly, but then about 1.5 years into it, I had another awakening having to do with my purpose and what I thought was possible. And then that whole journey, it's just been a constant spiral of moving through these 5 phases on many, many different topics, from money to success beliefs to a deeper understanding in my marriage, right? To a deeper understanding in my relationships with friends, family, emotional healing. It just keeps expanding. So isn't that beautiful? It's like the journey's never done. Yeah. Bart, you were focusing on the physical body for about 7 years, right? Only focusing on nutrition and supplementation. Yep, eventually growth stops, right? Because there's gonna be a mental or an energetic block of coding that says this is all I can do. when you expand that, that starts moving you into the new realms. Yeah. The emotional alchemy is your struggle. That's been for a lot of people. I'm in action for sure, but I feel like I've fallen back into inaction. So maybe, yeah, you're in awareness for sure, Ash, because you can see it. Maybe back to awakening. And that's totally okay, you guys. It's beautiful. And so that's the thing, right? Also, the beauty of having a coach or a mentor is that it keeps us on task. When we start to move away from that, it's very easy to fall back into our own bullshit. Aha, there you go, Jess. I think I've been trying to be in action phase alone, and it's tough to be accountable on your own. And that is well said, very well said, because that's the truth of it, right? When we're on our own, that's ego running the show, right? Anytime we're comparing or thinking we have to do it on our own, that's our ego running the show, trying to keep us safe, trying to keep us separate. So yes, boom, I love it. Awesome. So who's ready to learn about the 3D chakra control codes? These are going to be the codes that we are working to dissolve today, right? This is how we start to evolve and allow ourselves to expand. Basically, it's like turning to a new channel, right? This is your software upgrade. Is anyone here still using a Nokia flip phone? Does anybody use one of those old flip phones, or does anybody run it on like an iPhone 1? First generation Android? Anybody? Does anybody still have like a rotary phone in their house? Well, I think it was just the iPhone, Jess, right? But no, right? Nobody is still using this old technology. Everybody's got new TVs, new, right? New phones, faster software, new computers. Yet we don't upgrade the most powerful tech we have access to, and that is the technology of our energetic grid and our energetic consciousness and where we are operating at. And the only reason we don't do that is because everybody doesn't yet know that it's possible, that it's there for you. Let me upgrade you, in words of Beyonce. I love it. So this is the how, right? We move into the how by understanding that we have these control codes and that there are control grids over humanity. My coach, she works with a lot with the slave grid, the slave codes. Gabby talks a lot about that. And the truth is this, right? Each and every one of us has our own energetic field, right? You have an electromagnetic field. Magnetic, electromagnetic means it's attracting. And this is where you can go and study what Joe Dispenza is doing and start to learn the science behind this. He's proving it. So our electromagnetic field is attracting constantly, right? And it will attract things that align with whatever we are vibrating at. And the control codes of the lower chakras, so the earth star, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus, those are the chakras that really anchor us into the 3D physical tangible world, right? And none of this is about rejecting the 3D physical, because it's beautiful. The earth exists, right? Nature exists. Our amazing bodies exist. However, we have to start understanding that what creates this, right? Mind over matter. There's a reason that phrase exists, mind over matter. Because what we think is what we will create. The problem is when people are continuing to recreate themselves based on the codes in these lower 4 chakras over and over and over again, because they don't realize that there's like a broken record in each of those chakras just playing on repeat. And that is why, have you ever noticed, right? And like when we look at the physical body, we can start considering that an area where we may have extra weight or extra padding can be a direct reflection of a lot of stuck energy in those corresponding chakras, right? Stuck energy will eventually manifest into extra physical matter, which is our bodies. And the lower chakras, people are very anchored in the lower chakras because they don't understand that that's the place where our energetic trauma gets stuck, right? Past life trauma, ancestral trauma, karma, right? Fear, scarcity, lack, anxiety, all this energy gets stuck in those lower chakras, and it just keeps us running on autopilot. So I would love to know what of these codes here from the lower, right? We're not going to go to the heart chakra yet. The Earth Star, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. Which of these do you resonate with, and do you for sure already know you have active in your grids, right? Like for me, when I started this, I had tons of past life trauma that I've worked, shamanically to clear and go back and pick up pieces of my soul. I had so much fear, scarcity, lack, anxiety, right? I had a lot of emotional rigidity. I had blocks against my creativity, right? I was an overgiver, but I was resentful about it. I was frustrated. I was full of rage that I wasn't allowing myself to feel. I was afraid. I thought in my head that so one that's really, and clearly, right? Like I'm not going to be going into each and every one of these today because that's just, we don't have time. I'd have you guys all day. I'd have you guys for like a month if I went straight through the entire thing. But the activation we're going to do is going to be a dissolve on the whole control grid and an activate on the full 12D divine chakra codes. So the fixed identity one, I do really want to call your attention to over here in the solar plexus chakra. Fixed identity codes is this false template, this idea that because we are a certain way, we're not allowed to be a different way, right? Give me a yes if you know that you have over-related yourself with maybe what you do for a living. It takes me back to high school, right? When I was in high school, I was a freshman and I really, really loved playing sports. I loved doing softball and I loved doing cheerleading. And at the same time, I also found this love of all things punk rock and skateboarding and snowboarding. So I was super conflicted because I was like this peppy, cheerful, I really liked sports and being an athlete, but I also really liked the punk rock culture and the music. And I was like, oh, and because I was in high school and I had fixed identity codes, I thought I have to choose, right? Because then there was also the people pleasing and the need to fit in. And I thought, well, if I do these things, these people aren't going to accept me. So I rejected this whole part of myself in order to be in this other, now I'm a punk rock snowboarder identity. And I clung to that identity, right? And of course the ego thrives on that because it's like the ego's fuel. And so I rejected this whole part of myself, which meant that I wasn't living in authenticity. I wasn't living in my truth because at the time my truth would have been to do it all, right? So coming back around to my catch cry, be wildly you, have it all. When we're rejecting parts of ourselves to fit in, which I did when I rejected that part of me that loved sports. And do you guys want to see something funny? I actually had a picture that fell out of a box the other day of me as a cheerleader. So I'll show you guys that. So that was me just before I got into high school when I was still being my cheerful, peppy self. And when I decided I need to move into my punk rock identity, I rejected that part of myself. And as long as we're rejecting pieces of ourselves, those pieces of ourselves are going to be anchored in rejection, abandonment, scarcity, right? Because the idea that we have to only choose the parts of ourselves that are agreeable brings us to the heart chakra is grounded in this self-rejection codes, right? And you know, the reasons this happened, we can go down the rabbit hole and start getting into consumerism and the programming that the consumerist control, right, wants us to buy into, that there's something wrong with us. If we're rejecting parts of ourselves, we feel like there's something wrong with us. And what do we do when we feel like there's something wrong with us? We go out and we buy shit to fix it. So the true path to freedom is by going within, right? Dissolving these codes and activating the truth, which is that you are brilliant, beautiful, and perfect wherever you are at, however you are at. And that once you lock in and activate 12D heart chakra, just self-love, you realize that you're the only one whose opinion matters. You're the only one who needs to accept yourself. And when you do that, guess what happens? All of those people and experiences that were being pulled into your life because of this self-rejection vibration, what do you think happens if we have a lot of self-rejection codes active in our heart chakra? What do you think is going to happen in our everyday life? What kind of people are we going to attract? Probably people who reject us, right? It's not like we're consciously choosing it. That's just energy, right? The vibration is active, so it will call in people, places, and things so that we can continue to feel rejection. Because we don't know yet that ultimately we are the creators of ourselves. And it's when we come to that awakening and that awareness and we realize, oh, it's not all these people that are rejecting me that needs to change. It's me that needs to change. I get to recreate myself. I get to evolve. I get to activate beautiful, divine self-love codes in my field and then start to act according to those codes. Then guess who I attract? Guess what I attract? I attract people who love me and who will be there for me, right? And this isn't to say that when we have self-rejection, we don't attract anybody that loves us. Definitely not. It's just that we will have noticed a multitude of experiences in our life where we ended up feeling rejected, right? So can you be aware of that rejection? And if we can be aware of it, why is it so hard to stop? Also, can that rejection hurt previous progress? So yeah, you can totally be aware of that rejection. And the thing is that you can be aware of it, but have not yet dissolved that active coding, right? So it's like a program. If there's a program running in your computer, it's going to continue to do that action until you either clear it, wipe it, stop it, and install something new. Because that's the thing, right? These energetic codes are what put us on autopilot. So being awareness, right? Was it Thomas Edison or Einstein that said you can't solve a problem from the level of which it was created on? So trying to solve these energetic code issues with our mind, which is being aware, isn't enough. It isn't enough, right? It's enough to bring it to light. It's enough to allow us to start the process of healing. But we then also need to energetically do the work, which then clicks us into a new reality, which I'm going to get more into in a minute. And then we have to continue to focus into that new reality long enough for it to become the actual reality here in the physical. Right? Well, and I don't think it hurts previous progress, Ash, because I think it's all just part of the journey. So I think everything serves us. Whatever shows up in our life serves us in some way. Right? And that's where I really want y'all to, like, everything you experience is serving you. Trust that. Right? Trust that. Yeah. So then these are the other ones, the upper chakras, right? Our throat chakra, our third eye chakra, crown chakra, our soul star chakra. This throat chakra is where we really lock ourselves down. We block ourselves. Inferiority, shame, self-deceit, right? What I mentioned, right? It works hand in hand with the heart chakra control codes to keep us locked down, right? To keep swallowing our truth, to deny those parts of ourselves, to lock those pieces of ourselves away and reject them. We do that by shutting down the throat. The throat is literally the portal, the channel where we speak our truth to the world. But when we're coded with 3D control codes, inferiority, shame, deceit, fear of being heard, we don't allow ourselves to. When I was a teenager, I wanted so badly to speak my truth and be honest about how I felt. When I would try to do it to my friends or boyfriends, I literally would not let myself speak. I would sit there and I would be like, and I wouldn't allow myself to say it because the inferiority and shame codes were so prevalent. I was so shut down here that it didn't matter how bad I wanted to do it in my mind. I couldn't force myself to do it. And that's the perfect example of how and why Totally, Bart. Stuttering related to a blocked throat chakra. Yeah. It's like about being afraid to get your words out, right? Being afraid and not ever having, been allowed or allowing yourself to speak your truth, right? And that one goes really deep because it's something we get coded with very early on. Very early on, we get coded with these ideas about what's okay to say, what's not okay to say, if you can have emotions, right? We start getting coded with this identity codes about what's acceptable in the world and what's not. And we start shoving aside all the things that we have been taught are not acceptable based on where we grew up, based upon our family, based upon our culture, our religion. It can do with like being a particular race, being a particular gender. Like it can do with so many pieces. There are so many different layers factoring into, okay, well, I grew up in this type of culture. I picked up that women were inferior. I picked up that it was not okay to cry. It was not okay to speak your truth. You don't challenge authority. You just had to behave, right? Children should be seen and not heard. Sit up, sit down and shut up. Go over there. Behave. Don't act out. So all of these things contributed. That came from a number of different places, right? It came from my parents. Some of it was ancestral. Some of it was culture. There was a lot of yelling in both sides of my family. I'm Italian and Cuban, right? And I've got some Scottish mixed in there, some Native American Indian. So there's quite a few different cultures, right, that I have feeding into my codes. And then, of course, you add in the collective, right? Masculine and feminine, gender, like all of these different pieces. There's so many different pieces. And that's something, again, right, is a whole 2-week journey I take in the Wild Soul Freedom Shift. But what I'm sharing with you today is enough for you to start to get the understanding of where these codes come from. But what's less important, right? Yeah, Ash, exactly. Finding myself wanting to participate, but stopping myself because what if I'm heard or seen? Boom, right? And that's, again, trying to solve the problem from the level it was created on. So you're trying to will yourself to do it, but that coding keeps you doing, it's like this, right? So you start down your path and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. And your mind is saying go left, but your energetic coding is like, nope, we're going this way. Eventually the willpower is going to get pulled over here because we can only will it so far. Whoops. So out of these, in the throat, the third eye, the crown, and the soul star, which ones really jump out at you? Right? I know I have a lot of chronic overthinkers, a lot of people that really get stuck in logic and reason, intellect, right? Mistrust, spiritual ego, dogma, being shut down here. Yeah, definitely the throat. A lot of people I know also really resonate with having all the great ideas and being a dreamer and being, sensitive and a starseed, but having no idea how to put all of those beautiful gifts to action because there's a disconnect with the root, the physical, the 3D. Yeah, so Ash, you've been having the hardest time talking lately, which is unlike me. Right. Yeah, so there's something there, right? What are you afraid to say? So this is where you get to start looking at what programs and codes are you running, and where we start to move into the expansion, the upgrade, right? So give me a yes in the comments if you are totally aware that, okay, I've got some of these control codes, right? So you're in awakening, you're in awareness. So even in this journey today, guys, we're moving through the 5 phases, right? You guys awakened, you were here, you showed up, you're watching the replay, if that's you. You now have the awareness. Everything I just shared with you gave you the awareness, right? Now we're going to move in to the action. Ashley held that Piscean energy for sure. Totally. And do you want the upgrades that are available? You've got an abundance of control codes. I freaking love that. That's so funny. Piscean energy. Exactly. And yeah, you guys, I got cute. I threw up a couple of tech images to really hammer home the idea that you can upgrade you, right? So are you ready for the upgrades? Oops. Introducing the 12D Divine Chakra Code upgrades that we are going to be activating in just a few minutes. And these are the codes, as you can see, right? Even just reading them, I would love for each of you to just take a moment and read through these and notice how even just saying these, right? Ancestral healing, karmic release, abundance, grounded trust, quantum health. How do they feel when you say them? Confidence, boundaries, identity evolution instead of fixed identity, right? Can you start to see how even just reading these words, every single one of these words is coded medicine for you. So take a moment and notice which of these jumps out at you, and please share with me in the comments if you feel called to do so, right? Like, give me 2 or 3 of these that really stand out to you, because that's your coded medicine. That's the way this energetic stuff works. 80, grounded trust. Oh, love that for you. Totally love that for you. Saying karmic release and ancestral healing made me feel like I can breathe again. Ah, so beautiful. Rachel, grounded trust. Yes, this is why I do what I do, right? Because when I get to sit here and I see each of you resonating with these and having them stand out, and I'm understanding that that's you getting the coded medicine that you need in this moment, that just fucking races my heart. It opens my heart, it excites me, and it reminds me why I do what I do. So grounded trust and quantum health. Oh, beautiful. Yes, Rachel, right to be here. Cellular compassion. Ash, right to be here. Quantum health. Woo! Don't they just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All of it. Right? And so another piece, you guys see gut brain and heart brain. What that means is that, yeah, you just said gut brain. We were there. I was feeling you. So your gut brain is actually more powerful than your mind brain. Oh, and let me just, here, I'll share with you guys the next one as well. Emotionally alchemy. Yes, ADHD as a kid. Luckily, I grew out of it. Now, here's the thing about ADHD, right? I don't believe it's a thing the way they want us to believe it's a thing. I believe ADHD is an energetic problem. ADHD and ADD is a resistance. It is an energetic rebellion for very sensitive light beings and star seeds that are here to help change the world, and they're being forced into this box that doesn't fit. And so the ADD is the manifestation of the energetic rebellion, because it's like saying, help me make sense of this world. Yeah. Because when we are born into this world for our mission, we do come through the veil and we forget what we signed up for so that we can have the full experience. So your gut brain and your heart brain, which I brought my smoky quartz heart to co-create with us today. This is an anatomical crystal heart. Isn't that beautiful and awesome? Made of smoky quartz. And she's going to help us transmute some ish today, because we're going to be focused really on activating your heart and gut brain and moving you away from the over reliance on, and these are your upper chakras, the throat, the bindu, the third eye, the crown, and the soul star. And so also take a look at these and let me know which pieces of coded medicine stand out to you from this list. When we start to realize that our mind brain doesn't have all the answers, boom, awakening, straight into awareness. Oh, the things I think aren't necessarily correct. My gut's trying to lead me over here. My mind's trying to lead me over here. We've been conditioned and coded to listen to our mind. That's why we keep ending up repeating the same stuff over and over again, because we listen to the mind. We do what the mind says. We buy into the limitations and the excuses. Oh, I can't afford that. I can't do that. Now's not the time. This isn't right. This is too scary. Don't do that. And we listen, even though our gut is telling us to take the leap, right? Take the course, hire the coach, read the book, go on the vacation, create the thing, right? Quit the job, start your business. Those are the beautiful things that your gut is telling you to do, but your mind has 1,000 reasons why or why not. So what we're going to be doing today is dropping you out of that mind and into your beautiful gut brain and heart brain. So Candace, alchemy. Time to recover the damage done for sure by our Ash, authenticity, clarity, balance, divine trust, right? So can you guys see too, the multidimensional? So in the root, we activate grounded trust. Through the crown, we activate divine trust. And that's when we understand that we've got 1 foot here in the physical, 1 foot in the energetic and the galactic, and that channel is wide open all the way through and supporting us. So we trust in the physical, we trust in the divine, and we get all the magic that comes with that trust. Fuck, my mind is my own worst enemy. Galactic clarity, heck yeah, Edie. Because Edie, you got a team, right? Like when we've done sessions, I hear your team, right? So you getting that galactic clarity is going to be massive for you. Follow my gut brain is going to be my mantra for weeks. Yes, divine trust. Everything in the soul star scares me. Being a conscious channel, being a galactic being, being a light leader. Well, yeah, because how would it, being a light leader means you're going to be seen and you're going to be heard and you're going to be stepping into what you're here to do. And when we don't have the support of the 12D lower chakra codes, that's scary, because trying to throw ourselves open as a channel or as a light leader without being in grounded trust, it's going to throw us off when we don't know how to manage our channel or keep our channel clean, right? Or it's wide open and it's sloppy. We got all kinds of stuff coming through. Maybe we had a scary experience as a child because we were experiencing things and we were being told it wasn't real. Okay, shut down that channel. Now I'm scared of my channel, coded. So yeah, gotten in touch with my Lemuria starseed. I've woken up so much more. Yes, I love that. Love, 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 love. Psychic attacks. I'm right, because there are things, right? I'm not delusional, and I'm not going to tell you that there aren't energies and things out there, you know, that are negative or darker or don't have our best interest at heart. There are things out there that are malevolent, right? There are beings, there are people. Not everybody is operating in and for the light and the highest good. And so one of the things I get to do as I work with people in the longer term, and we really develop opening your channel in a safe and supported way, is how to connect to your team and your guides and ensure that the only thing you're channeling in is beings that are of the light for the highest good, right? Not false light, because there's a lot of false light out there. There's a lot of false light leaders out there posing as spiritual teachers and spiritual gurus that are in it for all the wrong reasons. That's their business, right? And this is where life gets beautiful. The night is long and full of terrors. Exactly, Crystal. My childhood scared me and it shut down that channel. I never knew how to say it. Consciously channeling is really intriguing, and consciously channeling is so much fun. So this is consciously channeling, right? That's what I want you guys to understand, right? This is not me. I'm just the channel. Earlier this week, I requested what my next thing should be. What do I need to put out there? What's my next level of service? And what came through was the 12D divine chakra codes. And then what came through is do an activation on it. Okay, so I'm here, right? I sat here, I did my little ritual before we started. I opened my channel, I called in my guides. You guys are going to hear me talking to them again when we do the activation. So as we get ready to move into our activation, right? And very quickly, I just want to bring your attention to this. This is what is really out there in the quantum. Multiple realities. This is how you get to recreate yourself at any given moment. So what I want you to realize that on each of these earths, there is a version of you. There's a version of you that is completely living in all of those control codes that you guys pointed out, right? Ash, for you, that being afraid to talk right now, right? So that's this version of you that you are living in right now because you're giving your attention to it. After today's activation, you're going to begin to understand that there are other realities, there are other versions of you. This is why in a lot of manifestation, you'll hear what you want already exists, right? What you want is already in the ether. When you are sitting and focusing on what you don't want, when you're sitting and focusing on how the business hasn't happened yet, the money's not there, you don't have the relationship, nobody's doing what you want, you hate your job, when you are focusing on what you don't want, you're keeping the reality of what you don't want alive. So if you are focusing on your 3D control codes, your fear, your anxiety, your scarcity, if you're focusing on it, you're going to get more and more and more and more of that. So how do we shift it? Well, we have to then switch to focusing on what we do want. We have to let go of the idea that we have to struggle and solve problems to be worthy of results. Exactly, Ash. The universe doesn't speak in negatives. When you focus on what you do want, right? Because if you're focusing on, like, I want to be debt-free, that your unconscious can't make sense of that. Like, you're focusing on how much you don't like the debt. All it knows is that you're focusing on the debt. So it's like, oh, you want more of that. Okay. Right? If you're focusing on how much you hate your job, your unconscious doesn't understand that it's you don't want it. It's, oh, that's what you're focusing on. Right? So it's about retraining your focus onto what you do want long enough for it to manifest. And this is where some manifestation teachers are doing more harm than good, because they're selling this idea that you can just start working with manifestation and poof, it's just going to happen like that for you. And what I'm seeing is people struggling to manifest and thinking that there's something wrong with them, right? Because they'll tell you, oh, just buy this crystal and it'll do everything you want. It'll bring everything you want. They're using it as like sales tactics. That's false templating, right? The truth is, yes, you have to learn to focus on what you do want. Then you have to consciously focus on it every single day in a way that feels good. You have to bring in the emotional piece. And then you also have to get rid of the energetic and unconscious blocks and old coding that keep rooting you back over here. And that's what we're going to start the process of today. That's what this is the beginning of for each and every one of you, because we're going to anchor in and activate some brand new realities. I'm going to give you guys a little map of how you can, what you can do in your day-to-day life to lock it in. And then of course you'll have an opportunity to have a chat with me and see if it's a good fit for us to work together more deeply, right? So we can really go on the full journey of locking this stuff in for each and every one of you. So, because this is the path of multidimensional living, right? This is your path to freedom. 3D strategy and action, yes, it is aligned. 4D, activating your chosen reality, which is focusing on the reality you do want. 5D is your soul GPS and your support team and trusting in them, right? Trusting and letting go of control. Woo! Because when you are your authentic self, that is your soul made visible. And that is how we're going to change the world. When each and every one of us is living in our own beautiful authenticity, that's how we're going to change the world. So give me a yes if that is what you dream of. If you dream of, like me, a world where we're all living in our purpose, we're all giving our gifts to the world, and we're all free to make choices about who we're going to be and how we're going to live. And understanding that who we were yesterday does not have to define who we are today. That who we are today can be whoever the fuck we want it to be. Because we know that our full potential is infinite. And that you get to start recreating yourself starting right now, tapped into and plugged into your full 12D potential. Yes, 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 right? That excites me. Woo! All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit here. I want to give you guys just a minute. If anybody needs, drink some water, right? You're gonna flush out your system. I would love for you guys to get up, and I want you to just shake it out, right? We just did a lot of learning. I gave you guys a lot of information. So I want you guys to get up and shake it out with me, right? Shake out your joints. Shake out your joints, shake out your jaw, let it loose, right? Make noise. And in all your joints. Yep. Drink some water. If anybody needs to run and use the restroom, please go and do that now before we begin. I want you guys to be able to settle in and focus and just be comfortable. Shake it out a little more. Make any noise. Do a little dance. I got my instruments ready. All right. Beautiful. So now we're going to move into our beautiful activation. And I will be moving around. I will be playing instruments. I may make noises. If light language wants to come through, I will be channeling in light beings. We'll be making some noises to heal and expand. All you need to do is now sit back and receive. And what I would love for you to do is to sit back, close your eyes, get comfortable, uncross your arms or legs, allow your physical body to be open now. And just taking a nice deep breath in, filling up through your nose, breathing deeply into your belly, letting your belly expand out. Exhaling out through your mouth. Again, inhaling into your belly, activating that gut brain. Exhaling out. Again, inhaling into the belly. And exhaling out. Beautiful. Beginning to tap into the flow of your breath. Inhaling again into your heart. Pausing at the top of that inhale, feeling yourself expand. Exhaling out. Again, inhaling into your chest. Exhaling out. And again, into your heart. Expanding, pausing at the top of that inhale. Holding, feeling your field expanding. Exhaling out. Now inhaling, envisioning, imagining it's going into your head, into your mind, brain. Then pausing, exhaling out, inhaling, brain, exhaling out, and again, inhaling into your brain, exhaling out, beautiful. Now, inhaling into all three. Inhaling, filling up your belly, expanding your belly out. Inhaling into your heart, inhaling into your brain. Pausing at the top of that, feeling your field expand. Exhaling out. One more. Inhaling into all three. Exhaling out. And again, inhaling, all three, and exhaling out. Beautiful. Feel yourself just relaxing into this space. Relax into whatever it is you're sitting on, feeling the support of the chair, the ground, the couch, the floor beneath you. You're safe in this moment. You're held. You are supported. Just surrendering, opening to receive. Receiving. Beautiful. In your mind's eye, I want you to just connect, putting all your focus into the area between your forehead, between your eyes, the area of your third eye. Putting all of your focus into that area, concentrating on that area like it is the most important thing, with your eyes closed. Maybe feeling some sensation there, maybe feeling a tickle as we activate this energy. Just opening yourself up to what you are about to receive. Beautiful. I now call upon my galactic team, light beings of the highest light that are here co-creating in this space with me. I now call upon you and request that you join us now. Calling upon the Arcturian Council, requesting all of your healing technology to come into this space, requesting that each of the beautiful souls on this transmission, whether it's live or on the recording, traveling through time and space, that each of these beautiful souls now be placed into one of your galactic healing chambers. As you place each of these souls in this healing chamber, I also request that you activate your beautiful suction cup technology. That this tech may assist each of these beings in clearing and pulling out any distortions, any lingering 3D chakra control codes. Now, plugging in and activating. Beautiful, thank you. I'm also requesting that my own galactic team and that the guides, any guides and light beings of the highest light who support each of these souls in their own evolution journey to their soul purpose. I'm requesting that you join us now. Thank you. I'm calling to the 4 directions, to the east and the element of air and the spirits of hawk and eagle to come into this space and offer your keen sight and your expansion as we go through this healing process together. I'm turning to the south and I'm requesting the energies of the fire elementals, the spirits of dragon and the salamander and the coyote, the trickster, to come into this space now and assist these beautiful beings on this activation. Thank you. Turning to the direction of the west, requesting that the western elementals, the water elementals, and our beautiful, intelligent guides in the whale and dolphin family to assist us come into this space. We request your emotional healing and expansion and fluidity and flow. Thank you. Turning to the north and the earth elementals, to our tree family and a crystal kingdom, beautiful spirits of the wolf and bear, requesting that you come into this space now, bringing in your support, your grounding, and your abundance. Thank you. Turning to the lower realms, just plugging in, activating the Earth Star, the deepest elementals at the core of the earth, requesting your own support now here as we activate potential of ancestral and karmic healing. Thank you. And turning to the upper realms and just requesting any angels, calling in Archangel Michael for protection, calling in any beautiful angels of expansion, of evolution, reaching up, plugging in and calling in the consciousness of Jesus Christ, beautiful Christ consciousness activation in the upper chakras. Thank you for joining us in this space. Thank you. You are here. Beautiful. Calling to the Lyrians and asking that their beautiful plugins now be activated in the healing chambers of each one of these beings live on this recording, live or on the recording, activating deepest plugins to activate these beautiful 12D chakra code upgrades now. And at the same time, requesting use of the beautiful Syrian IV technology. Just imagining you have these beautiful galactic IVs and plugins plugging into your healing chamber, infusing your energy body with beautiful new expansion, potential, activating all of these 12D codes. At the same time, while the Arcturian suction cup technology and wind technology clears the distortions, clears the old 3D control codes. Beautiful. Breathing into this space, allowing yourself to receive. Clearing. Clearing. Release. Requesting that the release be at the level that is the highest good for each of the beings receiving this. Also requesting that as they continue to evolve, the release and the clearing and the dissolving just happens naturally, as is in their highest good. Requesting that we activate the 12D, the full spectrum of 12D divine chakra codes at whatever level best serves them right now. Thank you. Calling out to the beautiful 12D codes at the deepest level of the Earth Star. Activate, activate. The root chakra, abundance, grounded trust, healing, quantum health, activating. Requesting now that each of these beings plugs into my own energetic field and the energetic grid of this beautiful container that we are in right now. Requesting the Syrian galactic 3D third eye spiral, the Pleiadian crown technology. As you receive these activations, these upgrades, just noticing, allowing yourself to breathe, breathing into the deepest layer of your being, noticing, just witnessing, being the witness. Activate, activate, activate. Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. Activating these beautiful new codes. Feeling the release at the deepest layer of your being. Breathing into it. Again, dissolving, releasing the control, lack, scarcity. Seeing this cord, visualizing the control grid. Maybe you see it as color. Just in your mind's eye, seeing what you see, feeling what you feel, hearing what you hear. You may see, you may feel, you may hear. You may just know it's there. Whatever you're experiencing is perfect. In your mind's eye, begin to envision the control grid surrounding you. Maybe you see it as energy. Maybe you feel it. Maybe you just know it's there. And in this moment, I want you to imagine that you are just drawing all this energy together, putting it into a big ball in front of you. Just imagining yourself gathering up all the energy of the control grid. Good. See yourself balling up all that control grid, all those 3D control codes. Again, you might see them as objects. You might see them as colors. It may just be energy. Whatever you're experiencing is perfect. This may be happening on a totally unconscious level, and that's perfect too. And as you draw this energy, making it into a ball in front of you, notice what color it is. Notice the density of the ball. Just drawing it up, bring it up. And now I want you to start moving the ball. Begin to change the color of the ball. As you start to spin the ball, notice its color changing. And you have control of this. So I want you to change it to a color that feels good for you. Beautiful. Noticing what color you've changed it to. Beginning to spin the ball in front of you. Notice which direction it's spinning in. Beautiful. Now stop the ball and begin to spin it in the other direction. Spin it faster and faster and faster and faster till it's just a whirling blur in front of you. And again, you may know it's there spinning, you may see it, or you just may know it's whatever you're experiencing is perfect. And then I want you to go ahead and raise that ball up, raising it up above your head, letting it sit just above your crown chakra, in between your soul star and your crown, this beautiful new color. Begin to see it infusing with beautiful golden light. I'm calling out to the golden ray, requesting that beautiful golden healing light, violet shimmer tones. Now infuse this beautiful spinning ball, what was once 3D density and control, outdated control codes, right? Because we can not create or destroy energy, but we can change it, we can evolve it. So see this now beautiful spinning ball of energy above you, letting it drop down into your head, through your crown, through your third eye, through your throat, until you feel it resting gently in your heart. Beautiful. And when you feel that ball resting gently in your heart, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, implode the ball, let it explode into you. Poof, shoo, shoo. Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. Lock it in, lock it in. Feel it going through every cell. Feel it flowing through every cell in your body. Lock that in, lock that in, lock that in. What was once your control, your density, your stuckness has now become part of what is your greatest gift to the world. Lock that in. Lock it in, lock it in. Let that code into the very core of your being. Store that into your bones. Your bones are crystals. Your bones hold your coding. And I'm now requesting that we lock this new coding in through every layer of your being, fully activating the full spectrum of beautiful 12D divine chakra codes in every person listening to this live or on the recording, through all layers of their being, down to the depths of their earth star, all the way up to their soul star, through all layers of space and time, on the physical, on the mental, on the emotional, and the energetic, locking it in. Beautiful. Now, in your mind's eye, I would like for you to float up. Find yourself floating up and realizing that you are now looking upon your entire timeline. And as you look back on your life, you suddenly realize that you are beginning to see the information. You can see the energy. You're seeing the quantum field that surrounds your life. And in that field, you can see all of the codes. Again, maybe they look like numbers or sacred geometry. It might look like energy. It might look like shimmer. It might look like pictures. It may look like anything. However you're experiencing it for you is perfect. And if you don't see it and you just know it's there, that's perfect too. But as you look upon all of this information, you can see through all of your life how all of those control codes have been playing out, keeping you in the same situations, physically, mentally, financially, in your relationships. You see how you've been limiting yourself. And I want you to go ahead and now create a beautiful container around all of this information. And once you have that container, I want you to realize there's a handle at the end of it. I want you to go ahead and reach out and grab the handle. Grab it. Good. Pull it towards you. Push it away from you, realizing that you have complete control over this container. Beautiful. And now I want you to pull that container out, moving it forward, stretching it out into an unspecified time in your future. Beautiful. And at this moment, I am now requesting that my own 12D chakra templates, Earth Star, Root, Sacral, solar plexus, throat, bindu, third eye, crown, soul star, my own beautiful template crystals now be dropped in and shared with each of the beings on this activation. Allowing my root chakra, grounded trust, quantum health, supported by all the beautiful pillars, all across the board, all across the spectrum. Maybe seeing these as colors, little color-coded crystals dropping into your box that you've just created. And noticing what happens as these crystal templates, my codes, drop into your box. What do you notice? What do you feel? What do you see? Just see what you see, hear what you hear, trust it. Allowing that to now ripple across all space and time and ripple across all timelines of your existence. Beautiful. Now find yourself floating out to an unspecified time in your future. Good. See what you see, hear what you hear. You may see, you may hear, you may feel, you may not experience any of that. Whatever it is for you is perfect. Find yourself dropping down into a moment where before you did this work, before you received these upgrades and codes, you would have been triggered into scarcity or lack or ill health or not speaking your truth or not having boundaries or sabotaging yourself, right? Whatever it was for you, just notice that something comes up and you know that in the past you would have been triggered into those old 3D codes. And notice now what's different. Notice what's changed in your future because of the activation you did on that one day with that girl, Lindsay. Beautiful. What I want you to do now is float up just above that event, just before that event, looking down on the event. And I want you to go ahead on a soul level and choose that. Choose it now. Lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. Choose that. Good. Lock that in. That in. Lock that in. Kadesh, Malakala, Geek, Faling, Ni Hao, Kakadila, Faling, Kadesh, Lock, Malakalak, Kli, Falang, Tali, Sale, Sir, Mahal, Makika, Kakadi, Na, Faling, Seal How. Ha, yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, floating back up, floating back along your timeline, coming back, resting gently in your heart, dropping gently down into your body, coming back to this moment. Sitting with this energy, noticing what feels different in your body, what feels different in your mind, what feels different in your emotions. Beautiful. Thank you. Letting yourself store that, connecting again with your bones, envisioning a beautiful red cord coming down out of your root chakra, all the way down deep into the depths of the earth. Picturing a beautiful silvery, golden, purple light coming out of your crown, up into your soul star, going all the way up into the utmost dimensions of your being. Beautiful. Feeling yourself expand, letting this activate across all layers of your being, all layers of space and time. I'm requesting that these upgrades continue for each one of these beings. Automatically giving them access to whatever upgrades are available for them at any given time in their best good. To the Arcturians, I thank you. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your technology. The Syrians, I release you, and I thank you for your assistance and your tech. The Lyrians, thank you for your plugins. Requesting that each one of these beautiful souls now be released, can deactivate the plugins, deactivating the IVs, turning off the fan tech, removing the suction cup tech, Requesting to the Pleiadians that the crown chakra tech remain active through the rest of today and tonight, removing it upon awakening tomorrow, as well as the Syrian spiral, third eye spiral technology, keeping that activated on each of these beings through tonight to really fully lock in the expansion and open them up to their full potential. Requesting that in the days to come, each one of these beings receive clear downloads as to their gifts, their purpose, their mission. What are they here to do? Requesting that their guides make themselves known in the most beautiful way possible, clear way possible, in a way that serves them and not in a way that interrupts their day-to-day life. Requesting that as you connect with them and channel through each of these beings, you heal and you assist them to lock in the 12D divine chakra codes we've just activated. Assist them to continue the work of clearing and dissolving the old outdated control codes, allowing them to see how the beautiful brilliance of their life and what was once control and struggle has now become their greatest gifts and assets. Thank you. Releasing any other guides, angels, and light beings that served and played with us in this space, we thank you. To the upper realms and the lower realms, they thank you for your service. We release you. Turning back to the north and to the earthly elementals, thank you for your service. We release you. To the west and the water elementals, whales and the dolphin spirits, we thank you for your service. To the south and the fire elementals, thank you. Spirit of coyote and the dragon and the salamander, we thank you. We thank you for your transformation. Thank you for offering us the fire of transformation, the cleansing and healing of water, the groundedness of earth. And finally, to the east and the air elementals, we thank you for your service. Please assist, guide, hawk and eagle. I am requesting that you guide these beautiful beings, offer them your keen sight in their everyday life so that they can see when their opportunities are appearing in front of them, for them to step more fully into their 12D potential, their divine self, and their soul purpose and their freedom. Thank you for your service. Thank you. To my own guides, my own galactic beings, I appreciate you. I thank you for channeling through me, for co-creating with me in this space. I release you. Just taking the last moment to lock that in, lock that in, lock that in. Thank you. And slowly just beginning to take a nice deep breath into your physical body. Breathing out, again, breathing in. Feeling what feels different, noticing, and when and as you are ready, coming back to this moment and opening your eyes and looking at your new reality. Coming back gently, slowly. What feels different? Beautiful. I would love if you would share with me in the comments what now feels different. What did you experience? Any little bits or pieces that you would like to share now, I invite you to do that. I'd love to know how that was for you, what you connected with. What stood out to you? A lot of big shifts in there. We had some very amazing and powerful beings co-creating with us. And also, something else you can do right now is just getting up and just inviting in a little bit of movement to allow what you just activated to really lock in. Maybe tapping a little bit, especially on your joints. Letting that get all throughout your body, shaking out your feet, right? Shaking out your jaw. Sound and gibberish is actually one of the best things y'all can do for your throat chakra. Allowing yourself to make what feels like ridiculous noises can really, really be healing and expansive for your throat chakra. I just need a deep breath. I no longer feel trapped. I feel so loved and cared for when you called in the Lemurians. So yes, do you see that these are the beings that are there waiting to support you? Now, so lots of colors, hearts, red, yellow, sun. Oh, amazing. So you see a lot of colors. Colors are really healing, right? And that may be a way that your guides communicate with you right now. As you develop further and you expand your vision more, you'll begin to see and experience different things. Like my hearing has massively improved. So as I build my relationship with my guides and understand myself as a channel and understand that there are light beings, it's like I hear their words in my head loud and clear. Whereas before it would kind of come through as thoughts. I don't feel tension in my body anymore. I didn't realize how, oh, beautiful. Yeah, I felt that. Lots of colors, strobing at the third eye. Yeah. So the Syrian third eye spiral technology is a really powerful activator of third eye potential. My cat woke up and came over to play, as well as when you called in the guides and the Lyrians. Yes, I love that, Rachel. Maybe your cat's a Lyrian. They do. So the Lyrians really like to assist us with the deepest healing and release so that we can step more fully into our full embodied potential. And they're really excited about helping us with that. My circuit board looked like a rainbow road in Mario Kart. I also found myself moving ahead of you instinctually, like my ball solidified just before you said it and changed color before you said it should. Well, and that's what happens too, right? Realistically, like the words that I'm saying are not the magic, right? The words that I'm saying are just to take you and your mind on a journey into that space. What's happening is on the energetic. And so, you know, you're in the healing chamber and there's so much intention and so many beings co-creating that they're taking you on that journey. And I'm just channeling in some words so that your mind can come along for the ride. So really, really, really cool and really, really awesome. So yay! Thank you so much for being here and receiving that. I just feel the expansion that has now activated in each one of your fields. And so what I invite you to do now is to, over the next few days, be really, really open to random intuitive hits, right? You may get some weird, crazy ideas that you are like, where did that come from? Those are the things. If you heard me at the end, I requested that each of you receive, in the best and most non-interruptive way possible, guidance as to more fully stepping into your purposes and your freedom. And so if things come through, don't just brush them off, right? If some weird ideas, some things that feel, it's the things that feel really outside of the box. Don't just dismiss them, right? Go and journal on them and see what comes from it. Excuse me, act upon whatever you can. Drink a lot of water for the rest of today, right? That was an energetic surgery. Water is going to help your physical body continue to clear out and release and purge any lingering stuff that's in the physical body. So drink lots of water, take a nap if you want. Highly suggest journaling. I highly suggest beginning an open communication. For those of you that don't coach with me, if you're not doing this already, start having an open communication with your soul, starting right now, right? Begin talking to your soul on the daily and just saying like, hey soul, hey team, I'm requesting some support and guidance on whatever it is, right? I would love your guidance today, because that's the thing. As you start asking for help, the beings that are waiting to help you will help. They're not going to interfere until you ask for help. So ask for help, right? And you can do that. It may feel really ridiculous at first when you're standing there talking to your soul out loud. Your logical mind is going to be like, well, what are we even doing? But if you do it anyway, you'll begin to build this relationship with your soul, right? And your soul GPS, which was also activated because that's part of the upper chakra 12D codes, is powerful. And when you start listening to it, big things will happen, and it can happen fast, right? That's where manifestation starts happening really quickly. I also suggest you have access to this recording for 5 days. Highly suggest watching it again, doing the activation again, because you're going to lock all of this stuff in even more deeply, right? And then for those of you that just love this, and you're like, okay, I am just so ready for more. I want to understand myself as a channel. I want to really lock in my purpose. I want to live my freedom lifestyle. And you want to discuss, you feel like in your gut, right? This is where you get to start listening to your gut. This isn't about a mental decision. Does your mind think it's a good idea? Does your gut think it's a good idea to have a conversation with me about further and more deeper coaching? Right? If that feels like a gut feeling thing for you, I'm dropping the link here in the comments to book a 15-minute chat with me. And that simply means we're going to hop on the phone. You're going to answer some questions. We're going to hop on the phone. We're going to have a conversation about where you are, where you want to go, what I offer. We're going to feel if it feels like a good and fun fit for both of us. And again, this isn't a decision you make with your logical mind. Right? It's a decision to make with your gut. If it feels good and you feel like you're ready for more of this and deeper expansion and more evolution, then the answer is simple. Let's have the conversation, right? There's no, commitment. It's simply a chat for us to get to know each other and see how I can best serve you. And we'll also talk a little bit about what things you can start implementing in your personal life, because the more I get to know you personally, the more I can intuitively assist you into mapping out actions that are going to best serve you. Because that could be anything from one-on-one quantum energy healing that I do. It could be like the Wild Soul Freedom Shift program, right? I have a lot of different ways I work with people. I mean, the only way for us to see what the best fit is for us to have a chat. So your actions are, and I'll also be sending you a follow-up email. It'll have your actions, it'll have a couple of the slides for your reference, and it'll have the replay that you can rewatch for the next 5 days as many times as you want. I'm also going to give you guys a list of actions. 1, drinking lots of water, resting, talking to your soul. Be really, really open, right? What you have activated is going to make you more sensitive. So the way that that starts to stand out is that you will start to notice your own crap. Like you'll start to notice when your stuff is coming up. That's when the work begins. That's when you have a choice in that moment to say, okay, I see where I'm going with this. What do I want to choose right now? Right? I can choose to go over here and do something that's going to switch me up and bring me back into what I just activated, or I can continue down the well-worn path of what I always do. Right? If you continue to go down the well-worn path of what you always choose to do, the habitual stuff, all the activations in the world can't help you, right? It's by doing something new and something different. And maybe that something new or different is going and sitting in a park, taking a break, playing, booking that call with me, reading a book, taking a break, creating something, right? Signing up for a new course, right? Taking a day trip somewhere you haven't been, doing something to interrupt your usual flow, because that's the core of all of the 3D codes, is that patterning and that being locked in, repeat, repeat, repeat. Breath work is another powerful way that you can begin to really purge out any of the old codes and create space for the new ones. I highly suggest the work of Joe Dispenza, his meditations and his breath work, to really assist you all in this process. What I would also love to know now is, what was your favorite part of all of this? So for those of you that are still on, I would love if you shared with me, just because it helps me to know what really stands out and helps me to better serve each of you at the next time I run an activation. I would love to hear what you loved about this. I would love to hear what your favorite thing was, what your biggest aha was, anything you want to share. What was your biggest takeaway? It could be something new you learned, whatever it is for you. I would love if you shared with me right now. And I would also love to invite all of you, if you're not currently in the Wild Soul Freedom Collective Facebook group, I would love if you guys joined me over there. Most of you are in there, but I'm going to grab you guys the link for my Facebook community. because I do regular trainings in there too. They're shorter, of course, because Facebook Live just isn't the, but I do weekly trainings in there. So if you're really loving this work, of course, my computer is freezing. So if you're really, like, if you enjoyed that and you want more of that, come on over to my Facebook group. There's that. So you guys have the link for, and I'll also include these links in your follow-up emails, the Facebook community and the book a chat link to see as you feel into it. You might want to take a day, think about it. But I really encourage you guys over the rest of today to really pause before you make decisions. Feel into your gut. Let your gut start to guide you and just see where it goes, right? See where it goes. You would be amazed at what happens when you stop listening to this. You loved the activation and the enlightened beings and all this creation. Awesome. Loved all the breath work, the sounds, the instruments, and the tones. Awesome, Rachel. Thank you. All of it. Honestly, I needed all of it. Yay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I know some of you that started off here live didn't get to stay for the activation. So I will be sending that out as soon as it's available for each and every one of you. So thank you all for being a part of this. Again, I thank my guides and my beings for co-creating and playing with me. I look forward to speaking with some of you because I know there's always some of you that are ready and raring to go and you're like me and you want more and you're ready to take action, right? Like me, I know within 5 seconds, like, okay, I need to work with you. I need to act on that. I don't really sit around and think about things. And there's always some of you that are like that. Ready and raring to go. And I can't wait to chat with you and get to know you. And I can't wait to see you in my Facebook group. And those of you that are already in the Wild Soul Freedom Shift, I can't wait to see you guys on our next group call because yes, that's something I wanted to mention to all of you. This activation, all of my Wild Soul Freedom Shift clients are doing this activation as well. Like this is a piece of what I do as a coach. This is it. This is what you get times like 10,000 more. So it's a really fun journey. And I can't wait to see where each and every one of you goes from here as you step more fully into your purpose. You access the parts of yourselves that are waiting and you really just step into being wildly you. Because remember, be wildly you and have it all. I thank each and every one of you. Go forth and have a beautiful day. Spread the light, spread the love, and be wildly you. Much love, and I'll see you all soon. Blessing you all, giving you guys extra doses of love and blessings. Thank you.